Welcome to Intuitive Astrology with Molly McCord. Thank you so much for joining me today as we're going to discuss Jupiter stationing direct at 15 degrees of Cancer on March 10th after a 4-month inward journey through the retrograde process. Jupiter originally stationed retrograde on November 11th at 25 degrees of Cancer. So in your chart, wherever you have 25 to 15 degrees of Cancer is where Jupiter has been inviting you into a review process of what you have been holding and feeling in the Cancer areas of your chart that are meant to offer you more wisdom, growth, and insight now. Jupiter stationing direct is when the energies are amplified. There is a reverberation moving through the waves of Cancer, and this could bring about some shifts in your emotional body, your feelings, your core understandings of a situation. This is where Jupiter stationing direct can also allow you to turn a page and leave something behind that maybe you've been working on or working through over the past 4 months. Now, I did do a separate podcast episode for you on Jupiter stationing retrograde, and the title of that was Strong Enough to Soften, because that Cancer energy is made to be soft, mushy, and tender. And so Jupiter invites you into those parts of yourself that maybe you've avoided feeling into or looking at. Maybe Jupiter has brought you into new parts of your heart, new parts of your emotional self, and what you need that was kept away or hidden and certainly out of sight. This is the energy of feeling like you're in a cocoon or a womb, looking for a safe, sacred place to feel into what is calling to you and also what is arising. So there has been a tenderness here with Jupiter retrograde in Cancer, and now in March, as the station direct unfolds, Jupiter is also conjunct Sirius, the spiritual sun in our galaxy. Sirius is also known as the spiritual sun behind the sun because it is the brightest star that we can see with our naked eye from Earth. So stationing direct, conjunct Sirius, where again it will be hanging out for all of March, is deeply awakening more of our emotional imprints from other lifetimes, other planetary experiences, as well as more galactic gifts and energies that we are ready to receive. Cancer is a very receptive energy. It's where we trust the flow of our feelings. It's where we work with the ebb and flow of changing circumstances and experiences as they move through us. This is a personal energy. In fact, Cancer is the only water sign in the first 6 signs of the zodiac that's about the self. It's about how you really feel. That is often internalized and private. It's where you can be holding layers and layers of energies that are difficult to even explain or understand. And that's because every water sign is meant to take us out of the linear mind. Each water sign comes after an air sign where we open up into more of ourself and our wholeness outside of mental processing. We drop down into the heart and we check in with ourselves to see, how do I really feel about this? I might think one way about it, but what do I really feel at a private core level? So this could be an interesting time to look back on the past 4 months and to understand what you've been processing, because this is a month when you're going to start to see it in a new light, in a new cosmic light, since it's conjunct Sirius. Now, the energies of Sirius are very expansive, royal, protective, and heart-based. There are galactic energies coming in to expand our empathy, intuition, and ability to feel into our truth. I feel that this particular Jupiter stationing direct is busting open more galactic gifts and abilities that we haven't been able to fully embody, at least in terms of many people. Some of you might feel that you've always lived your life with this vast connection to Sirius, which includes deep empathy, galactic memory, guardianship, spiritual authority, as well as a leadership role aligned with divine timing. And so this is where we're going to see a rising in caring leadership, where we're going to seek out those who can guide us forward from the heart and who walk and embody a new level of spiritual authority that's based on healing, wisdom, power, and emotional truth. This is a very strong energy of trusting yourself even more, trusting what you're feeling, trusting what you need, trusting what feels off, trusting your heart and what's opening up or blossoming for you at an emotional level. I'm also feeling that this is going to illuminate some powerful remembrance codes, whether those are codes of other lifetimes and other timelines. But the Cancer energy takes us to the heart of who we love, family members, the tribe, and those closest to us. So this could be a time when you have some memories come forward around those themes, but they aren't of this present reality. They might not even be on this planet. Now, Sirius was highly revered in ancient Egypt, and this energy is also connected to Isis. Isis being the divine feminine, who was a highly revered goddess of ancient Egypt. And she embodied sacred feminine wisdom, emotional devotion, loyalty, motherhood, and protection. This is the energy of the Great Mother. When you have Jupiter in Cancer conjunct Sirius, the Great Mother rising up and looking at what needs to be mended, what needs to be fixed, where do things need to come back together into a peaceful state and with greater wholeness. So even though Cancer can be seen as vulnerable, soft, and tender, this particular energy with Jupiter and with Sirius is actually more about a leadership quality of the Great Mother. It's about guarding what you hold close and precious. There is a rising here that can be soft at first, but it's not fragile. It's more about a remembrance of your own cosmic heart. And that's how I'm seeing this, as an embodiment of higher understandings of love, perhaps even those that you've loved in other lifetimes and timelines. There's an opening now for those connections. Maybe you're having some past life memories or recalls come forward about people that you haven't met or you can't fully identify, but you sense their energy signature. You feel it in your heart. There could be some powerful energies coming forward here that also support spiritual protection, being a guardian of something or someone, like a family guardian, even a guardian of certain lifetimes or dimensions. This is a bigger frequency. It's a galactic mother frequency, if you will. And so it doesn't only involve, let's say, a tribe or the immediate family. It can signify wanting to protect and care for bigger communities or bigger groups of people who align with these frequencies and who are a part of this soul tribe. A protective instinct can be activated, especially for something you adore and love. This could be a rising up of what you're going to protect and guard more personally. There could be a sense of reclaiming parts of your energy that have leaked out, because that Cancer energy is quite loving, caring, and giving. But it can emotionally over-provide to one's own detriment. And you might realize where the energy has been a slow leak, if you will, and something has been depleted. This conjunction of Jupiter stationing direct in Cancer conjunct Sirius can refill those parts of your vessel that need their own nourishment and self-care now. This would be a time to check in on what to give yourself, especially emotionally. And because it's in Cancer, this might be something you're doing in your own sacred space or privately. Sirius energy is also connected to galactic royalty. There is the energy of spiritually guarding what is precious and true so that it continues to exist, so that what is needed in our galaxy and in our solar system can still grow and develop without being dominated, threatened, or diminished. And so there is a sense here of almost a quiet royalty that embodies spiritual authority, because in Cancer, there isn't the need to be aggressive or dominate or to overly assert oneself. This is a quiet, empowered presence that sits, observes, and embodies emotional power, and then makes choices and takes actions from that place. Wise Cancer energy, which is the case with Jupiter in Cancer, is able to hone in on others' motivations and needs, what they are seeking, what they are looking for. There is a keen intuition here that can read others. That's part of the witnessing that the Cancer energy embodies. And when Jupiter is exalted in Cancer, that energy is easier to trust and regularly experience. So this means that throughout March, you might have heightened intuitive abilities that can read a situation, read a person, understand their emotions or what they're feeling, and then be able to assess what is needed. This energy is also associated with renewal, fertility, abundance, divine timing, truth surfacing, emotional sovereignty, and sacred cycles that are fading out because they've been connected to where you've been carrying other people's emotional burdens. Cancer can absorb. It will care so much that it will carry everything. And this is where you could feel weighted down by others' emotions or needs and realize it's taking its toll on you. Emotional sovereignty is important at this time, but also identifying your own patterns in Cancer are essential. And so that is looking at how you're able to trust yourself easily and effortlessly, or if there's something preventing you from doing so. If there are things in place in your life that have been more fearful, where you have not wanted to trust how you feel, or maybe it's led to resentment or misunderstandings. Because that Cancer energy is so private and internal, it's not made for others to readily understand. It's more of your own personal connection to your heart, your feelings, and your sacred space, and that could be hard to put into words or explain to others. So this is where we are supported in realigning our emotional internal energies so that you know what's true for you and you can hold it with safety, peace, and internal harmony. I also feel that the strong Sirius energy could open up some floodgates of remembrance, especially if you feel you've had lifetimes in ancient Egypt. You might also find that you are getting some unexpected answers and downloads related to higher spiritual intelligence and anything that is illuminated behind the sun, because again, Sirius is the spiritual sun behind our sun, and so it brings a new light and a new angle to matters of our earthly experience. So again, you might be calling forth energies from other timelines and other dimensions that are actively present for you to feel into and remember now. I am feeling this as beautiful sacred codes of love, connection, family, and joy. Overall, this energy feels quite uplifting because that's what Cancer does. Cancer expands the energy and also wants to bring about divine justice and divine knowledge. And so you might have some things arrive now in March that validate your emotions or your experiences at a whole new level. Again, there is a protective energy here, a guardianship that you might feel as a spirit guide or a new spirit guide arriving that identifies with the themes of Sirius. There could be parts of your soul experience that are now coming back to life, and they are activating your galactic heart memory that is very supportive as well as restorative. That galactic heart memory, I feel it as a beautiful blue energy going right into the heart that expands it and opens it up. And so there might be some things that if your heart has been overly guarded or protected or shut down, this could be a month when these energies from Sirius and Jupiter expand open that heart space and relieve you of burdens from the past. And that does feel like one of the main themes here of Jupiter stationing direct, that there is a turning of a page. You are moving forward now. There are things that are no longer relevant. They don't matter. They're not important. They no longer even resonate or connect with you and your energy. And so more things fall off and fall away, and they aren't even aligned with who you are or who you're becoming. And so the best thing to do is to bless them for what you learned, what you experienced, what you healed, find the gratitude, understand what was offered that was valuable, and then let it go. And that is one thing that the Cancer energy is meant to do. But when there isn't resolution, or when that Cancer energy doesn't feel at peace, it can be stuck cycling in the past instead of letting things go and move away. So this would be a time to look at what are you holding and carrying that is no longer in alignment with who you are today, and to honor who you have become and who you are now without needing anything else to interfere, distort, or define you. This is about an ongoing evolutionary galactic journey. And when we have the biggest planet, Jupiter, conjunct Sirius, there's significant shifts in our heart frequency. And perhaps you're able to feel more empathy for others. Perhaps you're able to recognize what's really going on for them at a core level that they're not actually saying or expressing. Maybe you're able to see more people through the lens of compassion, but to ensure that you also see yourself through that lens as well. There could be some type of emotional initiation that you've been moving through, and now this conjunction with Sirius brings in a bigger understanding of what that's about for you at a cosmic level. Maybe these are themes you've traveled with across other lifetimes. Maybe these are experiences you've had in other places and in other realms. And now in this earthly reality, there is something for you to understand as well as filter out, because I am seeing that a lot of this energy is not meant to be contained. You're not meant to hold on to anything from the past that isn't supportive, loving, and kind now. And so the filtering out could be quite strong. And it's also how you're honoring and guarding not only yourself, but your soul's lineage. So emotional truth is very strong throughout March. And this could be a direct knowingness, that immediate feeling, that immediate understanding. And there could be something here that is permanently changing you. And I'm feeling that because it's working with core emotional imprints that maybe are now fading away, dissolving out, and aren't being held anymore. Feelings and emotions can be heavily amplified right now. And so this can be something that you are sensing arises out of the blue. And I do feel it's a part of those remembrance codes, where when you're working with galactic energies, you're not in the time linear space. You're in a place of timelessness where all dimensions are open, and there is more that arrives that doesn't fit what the linear mind can process. So I feel this is an expansive energy that can open up the heart, open up and remove any blockages, as well as call forth any core love experiences, because it's interesting that, we often talk about the wounds and the healing, but you have experiences of true love, timeless love, galactic love, cosmic love. If this resonates with you, you have experiences of the highest levels of love that are even beyond what the human can understand, because they are more galactic. But that could also be a part of what is opening up here with this Jupiter stationing direct. Remembrance of cosmic love, galactic partnerships, deep soul level connections, powerful emotional connections, and even those who resonate with you as family. There can be some beautiful openings here, renewals and rebirths that come about from this influence. And I'm even hearing something about the Galactic Memory Bank. So this Jupiter stationing direct in Cancer is a beautiful time to check in on your heart, on what you're feeling, on what you need, and to remember that you are safe. And you might feel that you need help with feeling safe, especially with everything that has been transpiring in the past week or so. But working with any of your angels, guides, galactic beings, council members, any of those energies can support you in feeling safe on this planet, to be yourself, to feel how you feel honestly and purely, and to allow those understandings to expand you. Again, a very expansive energy. And some people could feel it through the shadows of Cancer. It could be the shadow expansions of defensiveness, hypersensitivity, hyper-reaction. It could be a sense of big emotions coming out and not knowing how to process them or work with them. So anytime we have a heightened energy in astrology, we have to be aware of both the higher and lower expressions that are highly possible. But this would be a beautiful time to be receptive to the higher wisdom that's coming through here at 15 degrees of Cancer in your chart. Now you want to identify the house where you have 15 degrees of Cancer, as this is where the energy is being amplified for you and where the messages are coming through very strongly here in March. I know when I do these shows, I go off in various different understandings and explanations, and I guess this one was meant to be more galactic and expansive since it's conjunct Sirius. But if you want to go back and listen to that Jupiter stationing retrograde episode from November 2025, that was more about how I believe Jupiter in Cancer gives us time to understand our own personal needs, attachment styles, where we came from, how we were raised, and where we have either developed trust in ourselves or not. So that episode might be relevant for you if you're seeking more understanding of this transit. Now, after Jupiter stations direct on March 10th, Jupiter will then proceed through the second half of Cancer and then enter Leo on July 1st. So we have 4 more months of Jupiter in Cancer, and then the energy shifts to more of that bold, expressive Leo energy. For those of you who are in my 2026 Soul Growth Astrology program, we discuss this in that program so that you can identify what is expanding for you through Jupiter. Also, it gives you a heads up on what is to come when Jupiter moves into Leo the second half of this year. That program also reviews the 4 eclipses of this year, the 3 Mercury retrogrades, and the upcoming Venus retrograde, which will be in both Scorpio and Libra later on this year. So if you are looking to map out what this year looks like for you, do check out the 2026 Soul Growth Astrology program and use coupon code NEW to get the whole thing for only $44. We also discuss the nodes of fate that are changing signs, and the outer planets. So it's designed to be a program that you return to throughout the year, but you might find that it's helpful right now with these Jupiter and Cancer themes. So as always, thank you so much for joining me. It's a delight to continue to connect with you 3 times a week here. I'll be back on Monday for a new podcast episode. In the meantime, wishing you a beautiful weekend and hoping that Jupiter brings you some beautiful gifts here in the Cancer areas of your chart. Take good care, and I'll see you back here soon.